Hello everybody, this is Bulldozer Investing. It is April 16, 2021, 5:40 p.m. Before I begin, I'm just going to go ahead and make quick announcements. On Twitter, we do have our Twitter account, bulldozer_INVST. I'm not really marketing anything on Twitter. I'm not pushing any subscriptions or anything, so don't get me wrong. The only reason I'm showing this is because during the daytime, I do post some charts that I think that it might be helpful for you guys. And then every Friday, so I used to do uh, daily videos, but I had to do weekly because of my personal schedule, and I have my daily job, and now I have two jobs, so it's really hard to keep up with the daily videos. So I post a tweet on Friday. There's no really a time, but I try to do it as early as possible in the morning, and then you can go ahead and reply to this tweet, which will be pinned on the Friday, and then you can go ahead and request your stocks. So this recording that I had started now, I'll go ahead and take these requests. Only one is permissible, because then I'd have to talk for like 3 hours to cover everything. So having said that, make sure that you take care of this usage of the Twitter account. And then we have our YouTube channel, same Bulldozer Investing. You can subscribe and get your daily videos here, Bulldozer Investing. Okay. And then on the videos, why I'm showing you this is because when I post it on Twitter, stock tweets, it might seem like the video is too long, hour and 23 minutes. Just go on YouTube, and if you click on the video description itself, you will have time bookmarked, so you don't have to listen to the whole thing, me yapping about like 30 stocks. You can go ahead and select the ones that you're interested in. Maybe you like the content and you just want to sit down and relax and have a glass of wine or something and watch the whole hour and 30-minute video. So that's all your choice. I'm going to leave it up to you. And we're going to go ahead, as usual, we'll go ahead and begin with VIX. All right, so we have on here the screen VIX. I have it at the 3-year daily chart. Reason why I'm so zoomed out is because last time we did VIX, I did mention last week that this blue line is very critical. Every time we hit it, I'm kind of zoomed out, but you can get the idea that it's pretty supportive. And we're expecting that, let me go ahead and show you. I think it's the $15 area. So this will be like 14.97, 15 area, right? So every time it touches now, it might be a pretty long resistance, and it might go for like several months, and then it might go up and shoot up. We don't know, but the thing is, the last 3 years is, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out, gives you a pretty good idea how this blue line has been supportive for VIX. Now, it doesn't mean that market could melt up and go, and we're going to go ahead and review the ETFs in a second, but that's VIX for you. So you're going to watch out for the 14.97 area. If that's broken, holy moly, the market will go nuts, and it's probably the VIX might go down to 928, which I think is very highly unlikely. But anything is likely in the market. Things just are surprising to me, and I'm going to talk about several things that I'm kind of shocked about the past 2-3 weeks. So having said that, let's go ahead and take a look at SPY. So let's enter in SPY, and let's take a look at what happened the 3 years. So as you can see, the huge Corona crash, we're going to go ahead and zoom into a yearly chart in a second, and we picked up, seeing the new all-time high, and then the cloud support, and it just went nuts. We're going to go ahead, I know the chart is 3 years, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the yearly chart and fix some of the things, the zooming levels and everything else. So just zooming out here, and we did talk about one bounce from the cloud top, the second bounce, then the third bounce, and I said that's a definite bullish sign, and it just completely ripped up. Now, what do we do not see? I don't see any of my stocks in my portfolio having this boost, and I'm guessing neither do you do. This boost maybe, the ETF went up like 15-20%. My stocks didn't go that high. So, oh well, what's going on? Is this a manipulation? I don't know. So, and then you have a lot of people crying about, oh, market is going up, and you'll have these, clowns going like, oh, this time, once it hits here, we're going to see the huge crash. Once it hits here, they've been saying that for the last freaking 5 years. Okay. Now, the Corona it was a quick flash crash, and it wasn't a bear market. It wasn't. 4-week flash crash is not a bear market. It just picked up the bull market, ran back up. Now, what do I see here? I've did 2 extensions. There's going to be a huge support in the 410 and 413 level once we pull back, and that's where your 9-day moving average is. So if we pull back 411, I think 410.85, so that level on the SPY, the ETF E-mini, I think is going to be your next support level. Now, where it's going to push up, it really depends, and I'm not saying it's going to happen next week, but I'm expecting 427. Now, 427 would be an area where I would be like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop. So as you can see here, anytime we touch this, mid-level on this pitchfork, now we might touch it at 423. I don't know how fast, depending on how fast the move would be. So if it moves up slow and it touches the 427, I'll be like, okay, small resistance until we touch this midline. Now, Andrew's pitchfork. So now if we get like a quick pull up next week and we hit 424, I'll be like, that's it. We're going to see a small pullback down at 410. Down to 410. So I don't know yet, but the thing is, I don't care where SPY moves. I'm not even looking at the futures anymore. Because why? It doesn't reflect. It's so disjointed. It's so disoriented from the general market. I think it just lost its purpose. Maybe I'm selecting the wrong stocks. I don't know, but whichever ETF I'm looking at, I'm like, okay, this stock is in NASDAQ, but QQQ is moving high and my stocks aren't. So I don't know what's going on. And let's take a look at QQQ then. Speaking of NASDAQ, I think it's lagging behind SPY, so this one has more push to go. I think the sector rotation from Dow energy stocks will going to go back to QQQ. Now next week, what everybody's going to be surprised at and where your bears are going to come out is we might get a quick pullback towards the 9-day moving average, and it might be 337. Now, one more thing is people are starting to do their tax returns. And the thing that happened in 2020 is that a lot of people probably did not sell and continue to run. And then bam, it comes 2021. They might have lost all their profit and plus even more. And now they have to pay tax for their returns that they don't have anymore. Okay? A lot of the people that I've talked to, it doesn't matter how much they made, what their percentage was, including me. They're negative now. They lost all their profit and now they're negative. So that's the issue. People are going to have to pay tax. I don't know how that's going to reflect the May 15th. Then we have the huge tech earnings on the 26th through the first week of May. So that's going to be a really surprising matter for everybody. I'm not so sure if we're going to go ahead and come down towards 327, or are we going to rip towards the 352, then 364? Who knows? So I'm just giving you the levels. I don't know the future. If I knew, I would be a millionaire. I wouldn't be, on the losing side, right? So we'll see what goes on, right? So next ETF is Dow. And Dow looks, absolutely bullish, and it's been tearing up for such a long time. Even though the market was going down with SPY, Dow really didn't care. It didn't even make the third dip like SPY did. It did the second 2 legs, and then it just kept ripping higher. One thing to watch for Dow is 343 level, and then if it rips above, then your end of year target would be 361. Now, if you're not, and I'm gonna watch the 343 because once we hit there, it might, I'm just going to observe it because it might come down and retest the 9-day and the 20-day. So for that, your level should be 343 to watch, and we'll see what happens after that. All right, next up is IWM. Let's take a look at Russell very quickly. Russell was kind of surprising to me. I thought that it would pull back a little. Well, if you look at all the Russell stocks, they were down huge this week, but the index itself managed to actually stay above this pennant, which is a good sign. I'm not complaining at all. But the issue is this: if it does come back, it might retest the cloud top at 220, or even a little less than that, maybe 219. But there's a huge resistance at 61.8. We'll go ahead and zoom in more at 224 and 52 cents. Target is 234. but I think it's going to hover over these areas of 221, 224 area. And then the sector rotation will happen, I think, around maybe early or late, like midsummer to Russell and maybe small cap stocks or the high growth stocks. But for now, I think NASDAQ is going to get the rotation from Dow and energy stocks and then run till summer, and then maybe towards the mid or end of summer, IWM will get their rotation. Next up is Apple, so let's take a look at Apple. One thing that you guys need to, let me fix this thing, I'm sorry. It's just so annoying when I see this. So one thing that everybody needs to pay attention to is that when Apple drops before earnings, it usually picks up and runs. And this is true for most of the stocks, but runs down, picks up, and runs, right? Runs up, then it crashes. Now, I don't want Apple to run up before the earning. However, technically it had to run up. Remember I said this yellow box is going to be your area, and it did touch it and it went up. Got a second confirmation. Look how perfect this 118.9, the 50% extension was, like to the exact cent, okay? So then it went up. I think what I want Apple to do and what I needed to do is come back to 130, load up on the calls. Maybe it's worth to play the earnings, but in the end, I think it's going to do something like this. Let me go ahead and take a picture of it. It might do a flag and then run, okay? So it's not going to run forever. And if it does run next week, your target should be 136.86, and then it's just going to pull back to 130 again. So regardless of what happens, it might, go like that and then move up after the earnings. So I'm expecting and I'm hoping that Apple pulls back a little before earnings so that it can run up, okay? Because last earning, when it went down, it actually had pretty good numbers. I just don't know why it crashed down. I guess that was the end of the market, basically, that March, the end of February, beginning of March, we saw this huge meltdown, and then it picked up. But I think I like this. It formed a W, and I want the flag to run up next, okay? So we'll see what happens, but this W right here, and if it flags, it's going to be a perfect run towards the 144, 147. End of summer, my target. I always said it, even when it was 118, 119, 116, that it's going to be $165 stock. So let's wait for that, okay? Okay, we have to look at AMD now. Well, AMD, it's looking good in a way that it actually has gotten into the cloud, okay? And if you were to do an extension on this, the shorter term extension, maybe I could pull it down a little more actually. Yeah. That's where, yeah, the 100% here is 86, and then I have 87 on the other fib. So 86, 87 seems reasonable. I'm going to go ahead and draw a couple of things here so you guys can judge, and because there's a couple stories here that I can see, and you decide your own what could happen. I like the fact that the rounding top, and that I'm not very happy with. I'm not zoomed out yet, but it could potentially, the rounding top, it needs to break out of here. That's going to be the 61.8 resistance, which is at 89.68, is going to be a huge turning point for the stock. So that's one thing, okay? The next thing is this. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys why it looks bullish. For one reason, there's a huge down, trend. It's not a perfect, line because I'm just drawing with a mouse, but it actually broke over and it got a very nice confirmation of a support right there. So that's one thing, okay? That's on the bull side of the scenario. The second thing is that you're also seeing some type of bottom establishing, okay? 1, 2, 3. So you got higher lows twice in a row, and if we can confirm that 3 times, and it's definitely going to go ahead and hit and touch the 86.66 or $87 area. Now once that, So once I'm expecting this to go near 85 to 86, so this region during the earnings or towards the earnings. Now, what will happen in the earnings? I have no clue. That's going to be, it's going to be a gamble. But if you're a long-term investor on this stock, one thing that I like is this. This bottom right here held. And I posted it and I had this like really nice looking rounding top and I said it better hold, and it did. It better hold this $75 area, and it did, and it looks bullish. Okay? That's one thing, but in the end, if the earnings go bad, it's going to retest 75, and that's where I get scared. That's where I get scared. But if it holds like the 8280 areas, then you're going to see a huge run towards the $100. Because I always admit I love this, rounding bottom, and you have a trend right here, and you break out, and chart looks really messy. Let me delete all these things so that you can clearly see what I'm talking about. Okay. So when you have a floor establishing like this, okay, and you have a long downtrend, and you come up and break that, that's when I really love the stock. Two levels to watch here, 87, okay, and then 89.68. So those are going to be your huge resistance, and especially this 86.66 level. If you can manage to break out of here, this you see this? You see this right here? 1, 2, 3, 4. This price action right here, resistance. So that's going to be a heavy area. If we can break out of that 87 range, then you're looking at $100 stock. Okay. So I kind of did all my drawings in that way because it's really hard. I don't have like a pen here to draw, but you get the idea. So my goal is 99.46, but I can't deny the fact that 86.67, give or take rounded to 87, that area is going to be a huge, huge, huge resistance for the stock. Next up is BNGO, and this, it's a nice stock. It has a good, it has a good product. The issue is that your edits, PACPs, the whole sector of biogenomics got massacred. I don't know if it had to do with ARCG. They're playing on Kathy, so they're all her whatever she's in, they're trying to bring her down. That's at least that's my conspiracy. But you're looking at this. If you can't hold this line right here, your next support level is going to be $4. So that's the scary part. I'm not going to lie, the technical side of things, I'm not talking about, of course it's going to wait for news. Of course it has a great product in their hand. So I'm not denying the fact that the company is really great. But the issue is this, the technicals are not good. 100 moving day averages broken down. All the other averages are above the price. I don't see any possible, reversal on any of the internals. The volume is dry. That's the only good sign, but it's like, are you happy that it's going down so you can average it more and hold this great company? Or you were there for a short term and you got caught at this candle right here, which I said, which I gave this and I said it looks bullish, but then I also told you guys that 1488 would be my sell point. So this was kind of like a quick play. This crashed down. So unfortunately, this was something that people got burned, but it's a good company. If you keep on averaging, I always average down. I never do stop losses, but everybody has their own strategy. I guess if you just hold this for a longer term and the product comes out really nice, you might go back to the $15, $20 range again. Okay. CBAC. All right. So this was requested last second. Luckily I've seen it. Not sure why it's not loading. All right, that was weird. Let me take a look at it here. Oh, same story. Let me see if any other, maybe my network connection is down. No. I am sorry, I had to take out CBAC because it's not loading. Maybe we'll come back, or maybe because I never stopped trying, right? Maybe we'll go ahead and do trading view. Am I spelling this wrong, guys? Maybe there's something wrong with me. CBAK, that's what I know the stock. I know the stock for that. It's not pulling up from TradingView. I tried my luck. I am gonna eventually have to give up. So no luck on that. I'm sorry. So it's not a clickbait. You just saw it. I tried to do my best, but it's not coming up. You know what? That was my bad. That was my bad because the user who actually submitted the ticker had spelled the company's name. The ticker's name is actually CBAT. So sorry for that. Luckily, I kind of came up with it. Remember that last second. So all right. So CBAT again. You see this rounding top. You have this gap fill. I'm not gonna lie, the stock technically isn't that well, but do you like to buy stocks up when they're going up, or do you like to buy stocks down when they're going down, and then just keep on collecting till you get the big, payday? That's all your style, but for me to give you a near future goal, I don't really technically see that right now. What I do see with this stock is that there's a huge, resistance downtrend right here, and it did just like FUBO. It looks like FUBO, and it broke above and then it came back down. You're looking at 408, 405, $4 area for your support. If it loses that, then things will not look pretty because it's going to go down and drop another dollar from there. So you're going to see a support right here. You're going to see about like 290s, $3. So that's going to look nasty. I hope it doesn't do that. I'd feel bad for the investors. But again, the upside is $5 and the downside is $3. So it's like dollar above, dollar below. Again, I haven't really searched a lot for this company, but when I see this, the stock is coming from like a couple cents here, under $1, and it moves to $11. You know, you buy it when it breaks out. So I guess you can buy it when it breaks out, okay? But this line is very critical, and next drop will be right here because that's where your major support is, okay? The rounding top that I was talking about is this right here, okay? So watch out for that. But again, I can't really talk in the near term, and I can't really be very specific on the price because it's like a coin flip at this point. Because $4 support is very critical. It did fill this gap, which is nice. And I do think that if it does move up, it could go up to $7. The issue is the volume is dried, and when the volume dries, they can adjust the price of the stock to anywhere they want. Whoever the group is, whoever owns the stock, there's usually a couple of groups, couple of people that actually have huge amount of stake, and they can just play around, slap people around because there's no volume, so they can play around with it. When the volume comes, you're talking about 100, 200 millions. When the volume is died off, then they could do anything with it. Okay, so that's the issue with these types of stocks. All right, so the next stock, CCIV. Let's take a look at it. CCIV, unfortunately, remember last video we talked about it, the 100-day moving average, you cannot lose it. And the moment it loses, it'll go back to 1952. And it did. Now, the issue is it broke down below it. You're looking at the cloud line right here will be your next support. So let's take a look at that level. What level is that? That's 1851. And then I'm not going to do any more because, the chart went up so fast. You can't really, and it's still a spec, and, it doesn't have too much history. So I don't know how far we can say things are going to go. And we had this pennant and it doesn't look good. Now we can change this pennant to go like, something like this. I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to play around with the pennant anymore. I mean, things just don't, like, I don't when I can't see the chart, I can't see the chart. I don't want to make up bullshit, I'm sorry for the language, but it's just like, it'll be a BS. Like it's just gonna be a BS. I can't even make up the chart anymore. Maybe if I could do like shorter term or something, but the chart is just unchartable at this point. Hey, you have a head and shoulder, and it could go break down and even go to $10. We don't know, because specs can go back down to $10. I don't know. I don't know if Lucid Merge is what's gonna happen with Lucid Merge. It's not moving with the EV sector. It's not moving with NIO or Tesla or any other EV sectors. It's acting on its own. So technically, I can't say anything. Only thing I can say is that you just want to make sure that it holds above 1952. Okay. Corsair, it's a nice company. I like this company. I use their products. They're good quality. Wow. Yeah, look at this range, guys. I'm not always perfect, but sometimes it comes out perfect. The two red lines that I've drawn, we saw both ends of it today. I don't know. It's a huge, action here, $1 range, but what I do see is an inverse head and shoulder. So let's go ahead and draw that. And all of these stocks, I'm sorry, but all of these stocks, oh, sorry, I meant to do, all of these stocks are affected because, you see I said the Russell, this is an inverse head and shoulder. Russell would, it looks like it didn't go down, but the stocks of Russell and all, the NASDAQ, it looks like it's going up, but the stocks aren't. So that's kind of like, the ETFs are so out of, they're not they're not behaving like they should. That which scares me a lot. Anywhere above this red line, you're gonna look for the stock to go towards 35.89. If you're not gonna go above this $32 range needs to hold. Basically today's low, 32.60 closing price needs to hold. If it doesn't hold, your next price is going to be, your next support line is going to be right here. Okay, nearly 31.20s. Okay, so unfortunately, it's a great company, but it got stuck because of, all these, high growth names going down. Just like Palantir, I like Palantir. The issue with that is that it's behaving with the general market. Or not general market, I would say it's behaving with the high growth names. So that being said, yeah, the stock, the chart itself, I don't see anything bullish, and it's not too bearish yet. Because if it recovers, and there's a trend line here, if it recovers, it could drop as low as, remember I said if it goes down, it could drop as low as 31.15s, but it would still be a higher low, and it could still slowly recover. And we mentioned that there's a small head and shoulder play here, but 34.80 is going to be your huge resistance. If this stock goes above 34.80 and it holds, that's when you see a reversal towards the $40 range. Okay. Next up is Fastly. Now, I mean, nobody said which one I like better, and nobody would care which one I like better. I kind of like Cloudflare better. I like the chart of Cloudflare better. So if I had to pick either one of them, I'd probably pick Cloudflare. And I was asked this when it broke down, and it was right here around like $95. I said, hold up, I probably wouldn't get into this, and the best buying opportunity would be the lows of the early November, late October. And it did get there, and as you can see this price right here. Okay, what am I drawing? Let me see what I've selected. Let's go ahead and do this. It did hold. Okay, this is good. This is a good sign. Okay, if it breaks down, you're looking at 49.70. This is $62 if it breaks down. I'm going to take a picture of this really quick, and I'm going to share what I think will happen. Again, these are all estimates. I could be dead wrong, but just from experience, seeing so many charts. Again, higher lows, that's good. Your resistance is 161.8 extension, and that's about $76.33 is going to be your resistance. Your good support line is going to be like the $61, $62 range. If it breaks down, you're going down to $50. Okay. I like two things. One is that it held. 3 times. 2, you're seeing a rounding bottom, okay? And this is going to be your resistance. Do you see where this extension is coming? Even though the extension has nothing to do with this side of the chart, it's actually starting from here to here, right? But do you see this huge support? It will become a resistance. So now it becomes a resistance, okay? Now once you break that resistance, you're looking at 92 and then 106. But let's take a look. Let's give one at a time. And the earnings are coming up. The last earnings, that was the crash. But last earnings, it really doesn't matter. It had nothing to do with the company. Apple did great and it crashed down, right? Earnings, Amazon did great. It went down. So, but the consistency here, earnings, crash. Earnings, well, the earnings are here actually. Earnings, then it picked up a little. Earnings, crash. Okay. So I don't know the earnings, what's going to happen, but looking at the previous price action and the earnings, I wouldn't play the earnings on this one. Regardless if it goes down or up, I'm not going to pick any sides of it. But at least the 76.33 could be worth the try, and that's going to be a huge resistance. But that would be my price target, 36.33 for the shorter term side. So FUBO, I've suggested many stocks. And most, like 80% of my stocks always did good, never, crashed down. This stock killed me, and I was dead wrong on it. But at this point, it is so low that the risk to reward ratio is getting better. It's like, what can you lose at this point? Like, why would I sell the stock? I sold some at 32. I sold half of it and bought Palantir with it. But at $18 level, I bought a little more. There you go. So the explosion off of this is going to be so huge and the stock is going to go so high. But the issue is, can we wait? How much patience can somebody hold? That's that's the bigger question. It's a sharp, descending triangle. Could it go all the way to 10? I don't know. If it does, I wouldn't be surprised. If it goes to $40, I wouldn't be surprised. This stock can do anything. Only thing that's a good sign is that the volume, that 100 million volume, 100 plus million volume that day was so promising that the drop after that was such a low volume. I just don't understand. I just don't understand why this stock keeps moving down with like 10 million, 7 million. Like it goes down like 10% with 7 million, 10 million, and it goes up with like 105 million. So many big institutions are in this stock, and we covered that previously. There's so many names in there. I don't think they're gonna let this one go down that much. But having said that, it's like, how much can you average? How much can you wait? That's the patience game. Again, there's a bearish crossover even on the 50 and 100. Nothing is going up. Technically, nothing is going bullish on the stock. I was kind of happy that it broke above, and I was like, maybe we'll, break over 20 and it'll be like a good start, but it didn't. So, I mean, all I have to say is that we lost a huge critical point right here. So first one was right here. And now it's a resistance. The second one, why it held, was right here, this candle. Okay. And the support, look at the support, right? So do you see how these supports and resistance work? They're technical, but it's like, screw the technicals. How much pain can you take? It's like, you can't. You see this support, and as soon as it lost it, now it's the next support. I just can't, take the fact, how much more can we go down? And what did this company do wrong to go down this much? Can it go down to 15? I don't know. Can it go down on like the previous earnings? Yeah. But when this stock moves, it moves pretty fast. That's my only conviction, and that's why I'm so patient with this. But I have to be patient. I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to hold it. This one is going to be a long-term hold for me now. Now, did I plan it? I thought it was going to go to $76. That was my initial target. And it just didn't work. So I'm not going to cry about it. Next up is GNPX. I guess I've charted this before, and I probably said the lower boundary. Now it's broken down. The lower boundary is broken down. You see this very critical point at $4 is broken down. Did I do this last week? I don't know. I must have done this some time ago, but the 50% Fibonacci extension was a resistance. It didn't stay above, and it crashed down. Now the scary part is that it's also lost this $4 area. You're looking at the next support level to be this range right here. Did it close above that? Yeah, that's a good sign at least. It closed above that. Okay. 375 is the worst case here. I wouldn't be a fan right here. Reason why is because, yeah, it had a pretty good support. Now it lost it, and it needs to hold. If it doesn't hold this level, you're looking at 375. If it goes up, your resistance is going to be 424, where the 9-day moving average is, and then the 20-day average right here at 436. But again, I don't know what this company is waiting on. Some of these companies are waiting on, bigger news. Now look at this, right? Now it's a bigger triangle. And it could go even bigger when it goes up. And if it does work, let's do this. Let's edit this. And if it does work, I'm not selling hopes here, and I don't even know what the company does, but it could easily go to 652, and your long target should be 10. But the issue is, can it survive until the news come? I don't know. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. Because most of these, if this is like some type of, biotech stock, it's probably waiting for some news. At least it doesn't have a split or anything, a reverse split. So yeah, again, you see how critical this level is right here? That the red lines that I draw. If you lose it, then bam, you're looking at 255. So here you go. And it touched, so this is good, and it touched 50-day moving average on the weekly. That's good. So let's see what happens. At least that was a support. So let's see what happens after that. Now, if we lose the 50-day on the weekly, you're looking at the cloud top right here at 364. Unfortunately. But at least I wanted to do something positive with the stock. At least on the weekly, you got the 50-day moving average support. On the daily, though, I don't know what's going to happen. It lost the trend right here, the bottom support. Okay. HMBL. Did I try to review this stock last time and like we totally messed up because of the symbol? I think it was this one. So now I think we got the correct symbol. We can go ahead and do some technical analysis. I would want to get a support at 230. That's where like your drop would be if it does drop more. Let's draw some type of a support line right here. So now that it lost that support, I don't like it, but it needs to hold this level. Okay, 233 if it goes down. Okay, resistance at 290, support at 235. That's a big range. Okay, because when the stock is small, every cents make like 5%, every 10 cents make like 5%, 3%, huge moves, right? So right now, what I'm looking at is resistance at 290, support at 237. I can't say anything till you break this trend. Okay. Now, a lot of people, say stuff. A lot of people think they know. I don't know. I'm just looking at, previous patterns that I know of, and I just try to do how these previous patterns work. And I've seen them, and I watch the charts, and then just from experience, I can estimate what's going to happen. But again, in today's world, a news comes up, and you're up like 50%. Looking at Dogecoin, I purchased 1 million coins at 0.003, and then it's like 45. So I like bought 3,000 worth at 1 million. Now it's worth 450K, only if I didn't sell it. So, things like this happen. So, you buy it cheap and you think, you look ahead, the company might have a technology. You're like, 5 years later, this thing is going to fly. You buy it with a high conviction, with the money that you don't mind losing, then it's a good gamble. But at the end, stock market is a gamble. You just have to weigh out your statistics and say, I'm looking at the support here, I'm looking at the resistance here. If I put this much money, if I lose that, I wouldn't mind. For this stock, unfortunately, I don't know too much about, and only thing I can say is that 290 is resistance, and then your next resistance is going to be this cloud bottom line right here is 327. Support at 234. If it goes down below, you're looking at a support at $1.93. Okay. So all I can do is tell you the levels, but I can't tell you where it's going to go because I'm not a magician. I don't know the future. Okay. Next up is HUYA. Now, I've mentioned this many times that I do respect puppy trades. His price targets could go really high at times, but most of the time he does get it right. So that's one thing. And I've seen on one of his videos, he does have a high conviction on the stock, and he does think positively. I can tell you that the MACD is crossed over. Stochastic's not there yet. RSI is way oversold. I think this is a valuable stock. I think this stock is kind of like gamers thing, like I don't know, like Twitch type of thing in Asia. So I don't know how their systems work, but I do think that this is very critical, this bottom right here. Okay. So the 1817, okay. Now it managed to close above, that's good, but you'd have to watch that level very carefully because if it goes down further, you're looking at this level right here, 1669. Or let me see, my eyes are getting bad. 1 second. 1687, around there, like high 16s, okay? I can't say anything. At this point, it's like I don't have any trend line, the downtrend isn't broken yet. Broken towards up, of course, to be bullish. I Once the momentum starts, then I can say, okay, the stock is ready. Now, if you want to get in early, just know that, 18, 17, but you can go to high 16s just in case. Okay. I'm going to zoom out and see. I think the stock is fairly new, so I don't know if it has like, yeah, the weekly would be silly thing. But do you see like just when you think things are going right and it just crashes, things go, things, things can go wrong. And when they do, you want to make sure you can average it. Just like FUBO, either your initial, you can go down as low as 15. Even your initial, my initial FUBO, if you go down initially, just make sure you put a little bit of money so when it does crash, then you have enough money to average and you don't mind it dropping. You'll be watching it for it to drop. And it's this low right here is matching up. Let's go ahead and pull it all the way back there. These lows is very critical. So 14, what is this? 1430s could go down as far as that. We just don't know. In the weekly, it broke down the cloud. Okay. But again, I respect puppy trades, and he is most of the time pretty right on things. But this would be a very long term, because you see this head and shoulder, it broke down. Now it's trying to gain support. I just think the bottom is not in yet. If you are investing in the stock, just do it slowly. Okay. ITRM. Was this one of the stocks that what's his name? Zach Morris was promoting? I don't know. It's pretty much broken, guys. Yeah, it's broken. It broke down the 100, and then it just keeps on going down. Now, where would it hold? Just looking at the previous trends right here, you're looking at 61 cents. So the first defense would be 88, then it could go down as much as 60 cents, like 63, I don't know, around there. Unfortunately, I mean, you can hate me as much as you want. I'm not Zach Morris to tell you that this is gonna, go to the moon. I didn't say it, so I don't know why you bought it. If you did your research and it's a good stock, I don't know. It's just that when these people, these people will be cheering, the stock goes up, they're pumping, and then they're all quiet when it's gone. And they don't even say I was wrong. So at FUBO, I said I was wrong. But there are lots of other stocks that, that I tried to do, and I believe that I did good. So here you go. The bottom's right here, right? That's one support right here, 80 cents, 88 cents. And the current support is 94. So it's 94 cents. It got a support today. There's some levels there that you need to watch. This right here, and then this right here. Now, I don't know what the company does. I know they're pharmaceutical therapeutics company. Okay, it says it right here. I just don't know what's so special about this company. For like, I didn't do research. Don't get me wrong. I didn't do any research, but technically, I mean, it's been a beaten down stock technically. It hasn't. Every time it touched the cloud on the weekly, it just came back. It looked like it broke above, but it came back. So honestly, I don't know what they're working on. I don't know if, it's waiting for any news, any FDA approval, but the technicals aren't good. I can't recommend the stock technically. Okay. LAZR. Now, I don't know, because see, there was earnings, I guess. When were the earnings? On the 14th. I don't know if it was an earnings thing. It pretty much gotten beaten down. But I don't know if it was the Xpeng thing where they actually said, they're doing their LAZR technology or whatever. I don't know what it was that brought down the stock from, from here to here, but broken down again. So you lost this, you lose this. You see this top right here? You see the bottom candle here? You lost it, then you lost the support. And it's bearish. So at this point, you can have spikes up. You can have, moments that, it'll go up and so forth. But it seems like it lost its touch, and it could go as low as 1610. Okay. Again, these are companies that are good, but it's like I'm doing a technical analysis. I'm not doing fundamental analysis. That's the thing that people need to get. I'm not here to, go over their financials, what they're working on, their technology. That's something different. That's not my ballpark. I'm talking about pure technicals, and the pure technicals tell me that this could go 1610. Okay? All right, next up is Palantir. So let's go ahead and go over Palantir. Unfortunately, I had ups and downs this week. I was up like 5-6K, and then all of a sudden I'm down 4K. So it was kind of annoying. I have to tell you, I was kind of frustrated about it, because and it's expected too. Like, look at this. As soon as it touched the 50-day, it just got rejected. Now it's below 20, and the 20's here and the 9. It looks bearish. It could come down to 21. I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but It's like I own about like 2,500 stocks shares of Palantir. My average is around like 2365, something like that. 2370 maybe. I added more. So it is what it is. We can't really, I mean, again, I can't be emotional when I do these videos, even though I have the stock. It broke this trend. It it's gonna get stuck. So this is my thing. The support is 2263. It closed below it. Now we don't know how it's gonna start next week, but it's stuck between 2263 and 2688. And I said that many times, probably from the last video as well. And it didn't go as high as 2688. But what I like is that at least we're forming some type of bottom between 22 and 21 level. Okay. As long as we get support around these levels, I think we should be fine. I'm looking at this long term, just like the CEO. This head and shoulder play, it was kind of like out of the term and then it got back. 2263 is very important. If we lose it, you're looking at 21 and then you're looking at 1864. I'm sure the 21 will be supported. I don't think it's going to go anywhere $18 anytime soon, but I'm kind of upset that we lost 2263. Hopefully we'll gain that back and we'll soon and it might just like hover over these levels and then get in the clouds slowly and then climb up. But my target has not changed. 56.59 is there and I am on this stock. Probably my heaviest, it is not probably, it is my heaviest position on my portfolio. All right, ride. I think this was Lordstown Motors. Okay. As I said, I don't want to comment on this last week, and it basically lost the 9-day, and it's holding the $10 area, 996 around there. So it finished at 1002. Again, you're looking at Helion, you're looking at Ride, you're looking at Excel. All these companies, they're going to look very similar. The chart, it's kind of like sector. So let's look at Ride and then let's look at Excel. Okay, pretty low. And then you look at Helion. Okay, low. Not, I mean, Helion went from 22 to $8, 870. So all these, I mean, battery companies, like they're making battery. I know Helion is doing like trucking. Excel is doing kind of like Ford, the vans, and then Lordstown is doing the pickups, the F-150s and so forth. Then they have their own car, I guess. But you're looking here around $10. I don't know if this was SPAC before, and it does seems like it was a SPAC before. Um, it's $10. That's what it is. You're looking at $10. The $10 needs to hold. If it doesn't, we can't even critique because it was converted off of a spec and $10 would have been the lowest. Maybe, I don't know, like 987. So I don't know the valuation of this company, their future growth, and how much of it is reflected on the current price. At this point, the chart is broken down. If you want to hold it, it's it's your choice. If you want to get in, it's your choice. It just seems like a black hole to me. You could get in and end up being at like a completely cool place, and then you could get in and just get lost. I don't know. At this point, it didn't hold $13, and the resistance is $13, but I don't know the short percentage. Maybe something like CLO would happen. We've seen CLO today having a huge, and wow, and look at this, guys. 161.8. Where did it touch? Touched it, 991, and it went down. Okay. Supposedly 144% shorts on this one, and a lot of people are saying it's the next GameStop. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, but a huge volume today. Unbelievable volume today. Now, people are gonna say, it's 17. It was 17 bucks. I don't know if this was pre-merge or not, but look at this $6-7 hold. Now, if Ride had that kind of bottoming, I would say okay, we got some sort of bottoming here, but I don't see that. I don't see that with Ride. So I don't know the short percentages. It might go up or not, but just watch out. This is something that technically I cannot further see because $10 is where it should hold at this point. Next up is C Limited. Yeah, it looks bullish. It looks bullish. I like the chart. I like the fact that it held above 250. You're looking at 278. Actually, let me take that back. Let me take that back and just do another. Yeah. You're looking at 270. That's going to be your next level. Now, I might have not done it perfectly. Take a couple of cents off, or maybe $1 up, $1 down. I didn't zoom in and do, perfect extension. But look at this. It flagged. It got a cloud support. Now it's climbing up. It's over 9-day moving average. And it didn't take the previous day high, but it's okay. I think it's heading towards 270. Very nice recovery. You should look at 321s for your long-term target. Okay. Very nice stock. You can see that the downtrend is done. Flag got a cloud top support. Everything looking good technically in this chart. I can speak comfortably and say 270 and 321. WUZI is next. All right, let's take a look. 222.93 should hold. Okay. Now this stock is kind of crazy. Like it just from $20 it goes to 32. From 32 it goes to 22. I don't know what's up with it. I mean, honestly, if it holds, it's going to retest, and let's draw an extension. Your bullish side is going to be 28.50, let's say. Okay, that should be your target, 28.50. Let's draw a box here. All right. However, my only condition is that 22.93 has sold. If it doesn't, you're looking down at 20.93, so $2 off of that. Okay. Just pay attention on that. Okay. And last stock today is Workhorse. Well, it's basically fighting off this level that we drew, this cloud bottom right here, and it looked like it broke down, then it broke above it. Yeah, I mean, as long as 1250 holds, you have some type of, oxygen. But the 20-day moving average here seems like a resistance at 1353. This cloud right here, so let's draw another line. You see this, all of these candles here. The cloud bottom is going to be a resistance, actually, 1424. Now you're going to say, I'm at 1323, 1424, that's $1. That's going to be a resistance, $1. Now, I don't know, because remember, they lost their contract or whatever, some bad news hit, and that was like all it was waiting for, and it dropped. Unfortunately, I don't know what the next news is for the stock, but it just seems like, look at this. Look at this bottom right here. It lost that, so it goes down. If you lose 1250, it's kind of dangerous because you have the gap right here, the 1023. So let me draw that too. There you go. So these are the levels that you need to watch, okay? Let me zoom in. Okay. Up 1427. Current level, it needs to hold, okay? If it doesn't hold, it's looking at 1026. I think it's like perfectly $1. So $2 below and $1 above. That's what I'm seeing here. So that's all, guys. I hope you enjoy the content. It is 59 minutes, so we're gonna finish it less than an hour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe if you like the content and you like to receive notifications every week. Having said that, enjoy your life. Take care of your health. Take care of your family, and we'll see you guys next week.